Hi, it's Kathy from your Web Toolkit. I am just going to do this training. It's like well, it's not a training. It's I'm going to take an hour also. It might take a little bit longer, but roughly an hour. And I'm going to build a website from scratch. And I'm going to show you how I do it using Divi, because I just want to help you understand how easy a tool it is to use and how it can make this process of building your own website so much easier. Now, a couple of caveats here. I have prepared all my stuff beforehand. So I've got all my images ready. I kind of know what the layout of the site's going to be, and I sort of know what's going where. And it doesn't have any actual content. So obviously this is not including spending time writing content for your website. So the kind of premise of it only taking an hour is just to show you that with the right tool, once you've done all your prep and you've got everything ready, it just is a much quicker and easier process than building it from scratch in any other way. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, so enough of me, enough of my face. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to dive right in and show you how I do this. So first thing I'm going to do is share my screen here, okay? And I'm just going to close that down so you don't see me because that's a bit distracting. All right, so what we have here, excuse me, is a fresh WordPress install. So this is what it looks like when you first install WordPress. I'm not going to go through the process of doing all that. If you check out my WordPress in a day training, I've got all the videos to step you through all the domain name, getting your host, installing WordPress, so everything to get you to this point and actually beyond. But that's all in that training and that's free. So you can use that to get to this point. And then once you've got WordPress installed, this is what it looks like. And I'm going to show you how I will build a website. Okay, just bear with me. Right, so here in the back end, this is the dashboard of WordPress. So the first thing I'm going to do is install my theme, and my theme is Divi. So it's here under Appearance Themes, and I'm just going to add new. Upload theme, because I've got it already in a zip file. So this is how you get your themes when you buy them. They come as a zip file, and I've got my folder here. So there's Divi, and I'm just going to click install now. And you should see on the bottom left down here that it is just gives you an update of how long it's taking. So it's not taking too long. Just waiting. Right, so that's installed. And hopefully it should just do its thing. Let's have a look. Let's just go back in here to the themes and see if it's in there. Okay, there it is, Divi, so I'm just going to activate it. And if I just reload the front end, this should look quite different now. Okay, so that's the beauty of a theme. It just completely changes the look and layout and feel of your website at the press of a button. So it's pretty cool. What I would normally do is delete these. I'm not going to do that because it would just take up time and it's a bit boring to watch, but I would just go in and just delete it. So I've done one, but I would do the others as well. You don't want all those extra themes that you're not using bloating up your website unnecessarily. Right, okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is add just the pages to the site. Okay, so I'm going to have a home page. I'm not putting anything in them right now, I'm just putting the kind of structure together. I'm going to have an about page. So what I'm building here is a website for a coach. It's just made up, completely made up. And it's not a complex site. There's not a huge, so I've got work with me. There's not loads of pages in it. But again, it's just for the purposes of this exercise. If you've got an online business and it's quite sort of straightforward, just showing you how easy it is to set this up. So I'm going to have a life coaching page. a business coaching page. And so I'll just leave it. There's actually now one more, which is mindset work. So I've got 3 services that I'm going to be offering. And we'll just add a page for the blog. And the final page is to be contacted. Okay, so we've created all those pages. Now what I'm just going to do is change the permalink. So that is just to make sure that the URLs are correct. So to do that, just in here, click on post name and save changes. Let's just have a little look there. Okay, so it's looking a bit messy, so I need to just go back in here to appearance menus, and this is where you control what's in your navigation bar. I'm going to create a new menu, call it primary menu, can't speak. And I want it to be in that primary menu location. I'm going to select all these pages and add them to this new menu I've created, and I'm going to just move them around. So I want home, sorry, home, about me. We've got the work with me page with our 3 services underneath it. So just by dragging underneath, that's going to make a drop down. And then we've got the blog and then contact me, and this one I don't want. So remove that, save this menu. And because I'm a little bit of a neat freak with my online things, that sample page just comes with the WordPress install, so I'm just going to trash that. So it's gone, and I just want it permanently deleted. It's a 2-step process, so you don't accidentally delete something permanently that you didn't want to. Right, so I've fixed the nav bar, so if we just reload this page, okay, you can see now that it's neatened it up, and then I've got those drop downs. Awesome. So far, so good. Right, so what I'm going to do now is go in here to Divi theme options, and I'm going to upload my logo. So again, I've prepared this earlier, so I've got it here in my folder, and there it is. It's just a simple text logo I created, nothing fancy. Anytime you upload an image, make sure you fill in your alt text here. It's for SEO purposes, so you would put keywords for the page into the alt text area. So for example, with your logo, you would probably just put your business name. I'm not going to type that in every time because it's, you know, time consuming. For the purposes of what I'm doing, it's not necessary, but I just wanted to point out that for the purposes of your website and a website that's going live, it's very important to fill out that alt text every single time for every single image. Okay, so I've uploaded my logo. I've got a favicon that I created, and the favicon, I'll show you in a second, is the little image that appears up here on your browser. And the other thing I'm going to do here is change my color palette. So I've got my colors already prepared. I'm going to leave the black and white, that's fine. I know my hex, this is called a hex value. Oops. Is it doing that? So it's E to D. I would normally copy and paste this, to be honest. It's going crazy for some reason. That's annoying, isn't it? Zero. Okay, so that's one of them, and the second one is C85279. Okay, and you've got room here to add some other colors in. I've only got these 2 colors in the black that I'm using for the purposes of this demonstration. So I'm going to save those changes. And let's just have a look at the front end again. Okay, so it's updated the logo there, it's updated the favicon, and I've got the colors in my color palettes ready to use as I'm working through this process. So my next step would be to go here into the theme customizer, and this is where I can make global changes that affect the entire website. So here in general settings, you want to give your site identity. So this is the site title. So in this case, I'm going to call it 1 Hour Website. And you'd put your tagline in there. So I haven't thought about this, just online training or something. Not very exciting there. I'm going to go in, and I don't need that bit, typography. So I want to make sure my fonts are what I've decided. So again, I've pre-decided what my fonts are going to be. This is why it's really good to plan your website before you start building it, because once you know all this stuff, you just plug it in. You don't have to muck around with things, and it's a much quicker process, and it makes everything more consistent. Okay, so these are the 2 fonts I chose. So Railway, PT Sans. Body link, I want to be that pink color. Now, there's a bit of a glitch here in Divi that it doesn't update the default color swatches in this section. It does in other parts of the builder, but not here, which is kind of annoying. But I'm just going to show you how to grab those colors, because they're the colors from my website. So I've got a browser extension here called Colorzilla. So once I click it, it's going to grab any color that I hover over on the page. So I'm going to grab my pink and just paste it in there, which is a much easier process than trying to type it. Okay, so it's changed it to pink, and I'm just going to make the body text a bit darker than the default that comes in. It's important to make it legible. And I'm going to make my header text the same color. Okay, so let's just make sure they're the same. So I'm going to grab that one and put it in there and save these changes. So what you should have noticed here is that the font has changed throughout the site, which is great to see. I can also, I'm going to make my body text maybe 16, just so it's a bit bigger, because that looked a bit small to me. And I'm going to make the header text a bit bigger as well. So this is a global change, but I will show you how you can go in and manually change each piece as well. But it's good to you know, do this as your starting point, as your sort of baseline and foundation. The next place I'll go here is into the navigation. So this is what's affecting everything up here. There are some options in here that you can play around with. I'm not going to do that for the purposes of this. What I do want to do here is make sure the font is the correct font that I want. So I want it to be Railway, which was my main font. You could use a different font here as well. I want that to be uppercase. I want my link to be that pink color. So again, just going to grab it. I'm pretty sure you can't do it when you've got the theme customizer open. That's why I'm just doing it in this different tab. So I want my links to be pink, and that drop down menu to be the same color as well. So you can see now that has changed to match my website and my brand colors. And when I'm on a page, it will tell me that the page that I'm on is active with this pink link that I've selected. Now, there are lots of other options in here that you can play around with again, but these are just what I'm going to do for the sake of this demonstration. But that's reminded me is if I go back into my typography, I want my headings, so my header font style to be uppercase as well. So I'll just do that there. Buttons is one that I will just go in and just customize. And again, this can be a little bit buggy. There's certain things that are a bit buggy, I have to be honest, but there's always workarounds, and as they come up, I will show you how I solve those problems. So again, I want my button background color to be pink. I want my text to be white. I'm going to make my border, in fact, I'm not going to have a border on them. I'm going to make the border radius 1 because I want them square. So that affects the roundness of the corners on your buttons. Might just leave the font as it is, as in not uppercase. Actually, no, I'm going to make it uppercase, and I want it to be PT Sans to match. I don't want the icon. And then back in here, the option for the hover style. So when you, sorry, when you hover over a button, you want it to change in some way so that it's obvious that you're on the button. So what I'm going to do is make the text the same color, and I'm going to put that pink background in here, but I'm just going to darken it. So when you hover over it, it just kind of darkens up. And I want the border radius again to be 1, so it's square. I'll just pop that in for the border color just in case, but there shouldn't be a border on them. So I'll save those buttons. And I think for now, that's all I'm going to do at this moment. So you can always come back in here and adjust things as you're going through the website build. Okay, so we've done just some behind the scenes stuff. It's still not that obvious here on the front end that I've been working, but you can see the fonts have changed. Everything's sort of uppercase. There's a bit of branding color going on now. So let's start building the pages. So I'm going to start with the home page. So if I just click on it. Oh, I know what I need to do. Sorry, one more thing. When I click on the logo, yeah. All right, so I'm going to go, sorry, back into here, and it's in settings, reading. And I just want to make sure that the front page is my home page, and my posts page is the blog page. And what that means is when you click on the logo, it takes you to what is your home page, which is what you want. Okay, so here we are on the home page. So I am going to start creating it. So if we go here to edit page, it will take me to the back end of the site. I'm going to click to use the Divi Builder, and I'm going to put in a full width section. And in there, I want a full width header. And I'm just going to open up one more tab here for a website called Lorem Ipsum. And this is where I'm just going to grab my dummy text. So I don't have any content prepared, but you do want to put text in there to kind of see how things are going to look. So you can use this as your dummy text. And then you just need to copy and paste it. So it's pretty straightforward. All right, so my title would just be some sort of headline. And then below that, you'd have some sort of compelling subtitle or tagline or something. I want the text to be dark. I want things to be aligned left. I want to make my image full screen. I'm going to have a button that says work with me. And I'm not going to put the URL in at the moment. So you can link everything at the end. And I'm going to upload my background image. So this is the one I've prepared. Okay, so it's just uploading at the moment. Hopefully it won't take too much longer. Okay, beautiful. Oh, that's the wrong image. Okay, that's huge. That's wrong. I would normally resize that so it's not so big. 2000 pixels wide is what you want. But I'm just going to go with it for the sake of this. I've obviously grabbed the wrong image. So we'll delete that, and let's just preview the page. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my full width header going on here, and let's just see if we can fix that button, because this is where it can get a bit glitchy. And I think we don't have an option in here to control the button. No. So what you do is you go here into advanced design settings, and we want to make custom styles for button 1. And the problem we're having is with the text. So let's make the text white and just see how that looks. Okay, so that's fixed that. But the rest, and also the icon. So although I sort of set it up to site-wide for the buttons, not everything has grabbed for this particular module. So I'm going to turn off the icon. And let's just have a look at that now. Great, so that's looking pretty good. So I'm just going to update that. And I'm just going to show you another way of working with this. So I'm going to, that was just the preview page, but I've updated all these changes I've just made. So now I want to use the visual builder. So this is really cool. So it means you can do most of your designing in the front end. So you can kind of see what you're doing as you're going along. And again, it can be a bit glitchy, so it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. So for example, I'm going to go, this is my module now, my full width header, and I want to make that subtitle text a bit bigger. So I'm just going to go in here, subheading font size, and just make that a bit bigger, and the title font as well. Tick that and save, and that's that bit done. Right, so moving down the page. Right, I'm going to create a new section here. So just this little add button. I want it to be a regular section, and I'm going to pick this layout. And on the left, I want an image. And so I'm going to upload the image I've prepared. Hopefully it's not a massive one this time. Hopefully I've copied the right one. So that's this one. Perfect. And on this right-hand side, I'm going to add some text. And it's going to be work with me or about me or whatever it is that you want to say here. And I'm just going to grab some dummy text from Laura Mipson website. And paste that in. So let's have a look. And what I want is that work with me to be, if I make it heading 2, it will grab that typography formatting that I created in the theme customizer. Right, so I'm just going to save that. Just always save your work because it can easily crash and it's quite annoying. So I'm going to put in a new section now, and this time I want a testimonial. Okay, so the name is made up name, founder of and then if you want to link to their site, you would put that in there. Open it in the new tab. I'm going to upload the image. So this is my hypothetical happy client person. I don't want the quote icon. I'm going to have a background color, yes, and I want it to be the pink. So you can see here that those colors have come through, so I can just easily pick them. And I'm just going to make it slightly transparent, so you do that over here. The text, I'm going to make light and have it centered. And then I'm going to grab some more dummy text. It's good to just mix it up to make it look more realistic. So here is my, oh, I've put the wrong image in. Okay, I want that one. And I want that text to be left aligned, sorry. Okay. Let's just save that, we don't lose it. And the reason I made this transparent is I'm going to just put a little image behind it. So you can do that here in the section. It's going to upload this one. This testimonial background that I created. Another good tip is to name your files, your image files, with your keywords as well, because that is another sort of ranking factor with Google. All right, so that's in there. Okay, and then that's it. So I've created my testimonial. It's good to have a testimonial on your homepage. Now we're going to talk about the services that this person offers. So I'm going to put in a new section with 3 columns in the row. And I'm going to use what Divi calls the blurb module. And this is going to be my business coaching information. And you would link it to that page, but we'll come back to that. In a new tab, I'm going to use an icon. So I want to find something that looks kind of representative of business, so maybe that one. I want the icon itself to be white because I'm going to put it in a circle, and the circle is going to be pink, and it's going to have a border, and the border color is going to be that. And I'm happy. I want it to be placed on top like that. I don't want any animation. I want it all to be centered, and I'm going to grab some more dummy text. So this would be like a little intro to what my business coaching or this person's business coaching service is all about. And then below, I'm just going to put find out more and create this as a link. So going just up here, you just highlight the text and hit that link. It's not doing it. It's a bit weird. Okay. All right, we'll come back to that. No worries. All right, so we've got our first module created. So I'm just going to save that. Let's just try doing that link one more time in here, and if not, we'll do it a different way, but it could just be, okay, it doesn't like it. All right, so I've saved what I've done. I'm going to exit the visual builder. The reason I do that is if for some reason you've forgotten to save or something hasn't grabbed, it will prompt you, it will tell you. So if you've exited the visual builder now, then you know that what you're looking at has been saved and is there. So if we just go into the back end, and so this is that same blurb module. Scroll down to the bottom, find out more. Okay, so what you can do is link it to the business coaching page. So that should just come up, there it is. So that's created as a link. And then I'm going to just update that. And let's just go back into the front to have a look. Okay, so now that's a link. And when I click on it, it will take me through to that business coaching page. And it will do it in a new tab. So perfect, that's what we want. Okay, so let's keep going. So, right, we've created that first one for business coaching. So we need 2 more, don't we? We need one for life coaching, another for mindset work. So you can do this really quickly by using this clone feature. So I've just cloned it, and I can just drag it over there into that spot, clone it again, and drag it across here. And then all I have to do is go in and change the details. So this one is life coaching. I would probably want to change my icon. So let's do that. I'm going to leave the text, but obviously you would update your text. And I'm just going to edit this link. Oh, if it'll let me, it might not. It doesn't seem to like working the front end there. Okay, that doesn't matter. We can do that in a sec. And then this one is mindset work. Sorry, I've got a bit of a fog in my throat this morning. And I don't know, something like that maybe. Okay, so we can save it. Now what I haven't put in, so I'm going to put in now, is a little heading. So that's a new row. with a text module, and I want it to be centered, and it's work with me. I'm just going to grab some dummy text. Probably have a little bit of intro text there. I'm going to make that heading 2. Okay, and then I can just move this row up above here, which is where I want it to be. So we're going to save that. Now what you would do is go into the back end and update these links. You could do that now, or you could do that at the end, because you're going to be checking all your links at the end anyway. So I'm just going to keep powering on through. Now what I've realized that at this point is that maybe this isn't the best order for things to be in. So I actually want this section here with the details about my services to be below my headers. So to do that, all I need to do is grab it and move it. So that's pretty straightforward. So if you need to move things around, it's really easy to do that. And then maybe I'll move the testimonial in between. And I actually want this to say about me. So you can actually go in and update the text directly onto the screen. It's pretty cool. All right, so I'm just going to put one more thing on this page, and that is a call to action. So it's a good idea to always have some sort of call to action at the bottom of every page of your website, so that if somebody gets that far, you're telling them what to do next. So as a coach, you probably want people to book a call with you. So new section. And I just need to have text box in here. And I'm going to center align that text, and it's going to be book, I'm going to do it in caps actually, book your free discovery call. And I'm leaving this as a paragraph because you do use the heading formats, like these built-in heading hierarchies. Again, from an SEO perspective, you use them just for your headings, so that when Google's crawling your page or any of the search engines, it's kind of like a table of contents of the page. So that's the hierarchy. So you're telling the spider what the hierarchy of your page is. So that is what you use your headings for. You don't just use them for the sake of it. And I would say this isn't really a heading. You might disagree with me, but I wouldn't. So and also just to show you that you can customize your text. So I just hit save for that. You can see that's quite small. So I want this to look a bit different to that. So I can go in here, and because this is paragraph text, it's here in this text font size or font area. So I can make it bigger. You could change the color. You could change the font if you want, but I'm just happy to leave it as it is. And then below it, I'm going to put in a button. And the URL I'll come back to, and it is book now. And you can see, although I'm typing in lowercase, it's putting it in caps because we told it in the sort of theme customizer that we want all our button text to be in all caps. I want it to be in the center and the color to be light. And so now it's grabbing that white text that we told it. And you can see when I hover over it, it's just going slightly darker color. So it's taken all that information here into the button module. So that's awesome. I don't have to do it manually. If you wanted to make this button different to the other ones for some reason, you go here into design, turn on the custom styles, and you can just go in and change everything manually, all of it. Okay, so that's all good to go. And I'm just going to put a little background image behind it. So this one. Okay, and that's my book your discovery call to action at the bottom of the page. Right, so that's the home page done. Excuse me, I'm just going to have a quick drink of water. So let's keep on moving on. So let's go and do the about page next, about me page. Right, so let me just think about what's going on here. Right, so again, I'm just going to go into the back end. I find that you need to just go in here to sort of start everything off. And I'm going to put in another full width section. I want it to be a header. And it's just going to be, hi, I'll just put Kathy, it's my name. And you put some sort of subheading text below it. Again, your tagline, your USP, your unique selling proposition, something like that. I think the text is going to be light and I want it to be centered this time. I want my image to be full screen. I'm not going to put a button on this one, but I am going to upload an image. Okay, so here we go. Let's pop that one in. And save and exit. So let's just update the page. Okay, what I didn't do, and I'm just going to do, is delete that. So always, when the page is new, it puts in that sort of default row. And you can either use it, if you don't use it, obviously delete it. Okay, so this is what it's looking like. That's kind of okay, it's not quite what I'm after, so I'm going to enable the Visual Builder. Which lets me then just do it from the front end so I can see the changes as I'm making them. So there's an option in here to add an overlay color. So it means you don't have to do this onto the image before you upload it, which is great. So I want to add black over the top. And then I'm just going to start making it transparent. Now I'm just doing this so that it's a bit easier to read the text. Okay. And again, I just want my subheading text to be a bit bigger than that. And my title. Now what you should really do is make it consistent. So maybe go back to your home page, see what size you made that and make this the same. Okay, so below here, so let's, save that. So below here, I'm going to create a section. I'm going to use this specialty section. So I'll show you what that does. Let's start with that one. And so on the left, I am going to put a heading. So let's pop a text box. Let's just call it an introductory heading. Make that heading 2, because heading 1 is the name of your page. That's your about me. And below this, I'm going to add an image. And it's that one again. So, oh no, it's the wrong one. Let's try that one. Yep, because I want it to take up the full width. And then below it, just some more text. So this would be whatever your content that you've created is. So I'll just pop that in there, just paste it in. Okay, so let's save. And then on the right, I'm going to have my blurb modules. So instead of recreating them, let me show you a little trick. So I'm going to duplicate that page. Go back into my home page. Let's just enable the Visual Builder. And what I want to do here on this one is save it to the library. So I'm going to call it Business Coaching. I want to include everything about that module, and I'm going to create a category and call it Services so that I put them all in the same spot. You don't have to do that. Oops. Makes it a bit neater. Try that again. And then save to library. I'm going to do the same here with the life coaching. Before I do that, I'm just going to save what I did so it registers that, that group that I created. Okay, so I might have to just reload the page. Okay, let's try again. Okay, so I'm adding it to the category services, and this is called life coaching. And same for this one. This is mindset work. What that means, and we'll probably need to, let's just see, but probably need to reload this, yeah. So if you just reload this page, so again, it just kind of gathers what we've done. And now when to insert module, instead of picking a module to start from scratch, I'm going to add one from the library. So there's my business coaching, below that my life coaching, below that my mindset work. So that's pretty nifty, isn't it? And I'm going to also make these slightly different. So if I go into this module, in the blurb settings, I can control the background. So I'm going to give it a background color. We'll start with that, but maybe make it slightly, just so that the little, the border on the circle doesn't go completely invisible. And then I just need to add in some padding. So let's try 20 pixels all the way around. Do the same for this one. Actually, what I need to do is just grab that color that I created now. So I can just grab that. All I've done is copy it to my clipboard. And then when I go in here and background color, don't forget to add in your padding. And finally, in this one as well, background color. And my padding. Cool, I'm happy with that. Now, I just think this layout's a little bit squished, so I'm going to change my section layout. And actually, can I do that in here? Right, so what I'm going to do is exit the Visual Builder. There's always a way. I'm going to just go into the back end, and I don't think it lets me just change the structure. No, it doesn't. So what I'm going to do is just create a new one. So the one I picked was this one. So you can see that sort of right-hand side bit's quite narrow, but I think it needs a bit more room. So I'm going to pick this one. And then all I have to do is drag. So you have to put in a new row and then just drag your modules down like so. Okay, so that's that. Let's update the page so we don't lose those changes. And then I'm going to have a look at how it looks in the front end. Okay, so that's given it a bit more room. And I'm going to, and what you can do actually, because I don't like this animation, and it's sort of a default that Divi has. So I'm just going to show you how to turn it off on the image if you feel the same way. When you're in your image module, it's here, so you can just say no animation. But also what I'm going to do is turn it off full stop. So you've got here Divi module customizer. So this is in here, you've got ways that you can control some of the aspects of these modules, not all of them, not all of it, but it gives you some control over certain things. And the image one is one of them. So I'm going to just say no animation. So what that should do is anytime I insert an image now going forwards, it won't default with that animation anymore. Okay, so where were we? We are on our About page. So I'm pretty happy with that. You'd probably want to put some more text in, but you know, for the sake of what we're doing here, I'm going to say that's done. So I'm just going to add that call to action in at the bottom. So again, if I go back to this page, and I want to save this whole section now into the library, so I can just do that here. And it's discovery call to action. And I'm not going to create a category for it because it's just kind of a one-off. Lost it again. Right. Okay, because I'm at the bottom of the page, it's not letting me do it. That's fine. So just hop into the back end and we'll do it that way. So, I mean, it's a little bit, there are definitely some kinks that need to be ironed out, but the benefits far outweigh any slight issues like these that there might be. So I'm going to add it to the library this way. This back-end editor that I'm in at the moment is way more stable. It's been around longer. The front end one is kind of newer, so you know, they're still ironing out some issues with it. And that's it. So I'm going to save and add that to library and update. And then when I go back here, I'm just going to come out of that for a sec. Just make sure that I've saved everything I've done. Just reload the page. And then let's just add that in. So I can add it from library. There it is. All good. And I'm finished with my About Me page. Whew, right. So it's pretty good, right? It's going pretty fast. Let's do a Work With Me page. And I mean, it's kind of the same process. And in fact, what I'm going to do with this page is just have it as a heading, and all these are the drop downs. So the way I'll do that is by going here into our appearance menus. And instead of it being an actual page, I'm going to do it as a link. So for the URL, I've just put that hashtag because I just don't want it to be anything. I just want it to be a link on my navigation bar, and it's Work With Me. I'm going to add that to the menu, move that up here, delete the page, and make sure these are underneath it. And so now when I click on it, it's not going to go anywhere. Well, it shouldn't. Let me reload that. Okay, so now it's nothing. It's just like a holding link on the nav bar for these drop downs. So that's one way you can set your site up if that's how you want to do your services, or you could create that as a page and put some more information on it. Right, so let's edit this life coaching page. And I'm going to use Divi Builder. Right, so this time I'm going to use the standard section that comes in. So I'm not going to put an image. I'm just going to have some text that says, I've forgotten which one it is. Is it the business coaching? Life coaching. All right, let's do life coaching. So I'm going to have the text light and centered life coaching. Make this a heading 1. And I'm just going to make the background color pink. Okay, so let's just update that. Do the page. Okay, yep. So yeah, I'm just going to keep it simple for here. And what can we put on this page? So you might Right, let's add a section, regular section, and we're going to add some text. So you put a heading, center it. I don't know what the content might be. That is a whole other thing, writing your content, but here we go. So what is life coaching? So that could be your explanation, talking about, you know, your target audience's pain points, the benefits you're offering. So you put some text in there. You could then put in a testimonial again. So I would use this as my starting point. So I'm back on the home page. Got my testimonial from here, so I'm going to save that to the library. And let's just come out of there. See, so it's prompting me that I've got unsaved changes, so I want to make sure I want to save those changes. That's why it's a good idea to exit the Visual Builder, because it reminds you if you've forgotten to save, which is easy to do. Okay, so let's add in, okay, new section from library. So in this case, I want a testimonial, and you could, you know, have a different testimonial. So update that with the details of someone else. What else? You could grab this as well. So this row, so I'm going to grab that. And that's my services in a row. So before we saved each one as a module, but this is all three of them. Okay, so we'll just save that. Let's exit, save. Reload. And then what I might do here is add a new section, and if you put in a text box, okay, so you can draw people to your site. So if they're reading about your life coaching, you can show that you know, have other services that you offer, with maybe just a little bit of intro text around that. To make this one a heading 2. And then I'm going to insert that row that I just saved into the library. But obviously we're on the live coaching page, so that kind of is a bit redundant to have that there. So I'm going to delete that one. And then I can just change this to be from 3 columns to 2. That's pretty nifty. And then I'd probably put back in my call to action, so I can just grab that from the library as well. Hit save, and that's my page done. So just exit to make sure everything's been grabbed. So now for my other pages, there's a couple of ways you can do it. So if we just go back here into the back end, I'm going to show you a plugin, and it's called, so if we go plugin add new, and it's called duplicate post. So that's it there. So I'm just installing that plugin. Actually, that might just be for posts. The wrong one. We need it anyway in a moment, but let me just see if it works on pages. Yeah, it does. So that was our life coaching page. So what I could do is just clone that. has created it as a draft. I've already got business coaching one here, so I'll just trash that so we don't get confused. And this edit, so we'll edit this one, and this actually we want it to be business coaching. Now I've kind of shown you something a little, we've done it a bit back to front, and what you'll see here is if I try and change this to say business coaching, oh, it didn't do it. I thought I was going to put a 2 at the end of it because we had that other page that we've trashed, but we haven't trashed it completely. So if you just look here as the overview, I'm just going to trash that business coaching one anyway, just get rid of it, because we've got that cloned one. So here it is. So if we just have a quick look at that, definitely it says life coaching, but it is business coaching. So you can just go in and change the details. So I'll change that to say business coaching. What is business coaching as opposed to life coaching? And for this, I would just trash that, add it back in, the one that's saved in the library. And now I can delete the business coaching and make it 2 columns. And you just need to move it around, okay? And save. Now, because we kind of deleted some pages then, this has gone a bit weird. So if we just go back into our dashboard, into our menus, appearance, menus, and I'm just going to add that business coaching page on to here. And I'm kind of doing it in different ways because obviously using WordPress, there's loads of different ways to do the same thing. So hopefully by doing it in various ways and showing you what happens if you need to delete a page and then reintroduce it, it just kind of makes, covering quite a few scenarios for you. And then when we save that, it will just reappear here on the website. Okay, so life coaching, business coaching, mindset work. Okay, so I did say there was another way to copy the page. So at the moment, we've still got to do the mindset work one, and it's just using the library as well. So if I enable the visual builder, I can actually copy the entire page in the same way. You need to do that in the back end. So I can here save to library and business coaching page. So that's the entire page now. Has been saved. So I'll go to my mindset work page, go into the back end to edit it, use the Divi Builder, load from library, add from library, and there's that page that we just saved. We can update it, view the page. And now I can just change this to what the topic of this page is, which is mindset work. You can see up there. So mindset work. What is mindset work? I don't even know if that's a thing. So any coaches, if you're watching this, I really apologize if I'm just making up terms that don't exist in your industry. And so we'll delete that one. We're left with these 2, and we just need to resize the columns. So that's it, done. Okay, so I've done all of these pages now. So just what's left is the blog and the contact me page. And I'd say we're kind of under our hour so far, so it's going quite well. So what we're going to do now is add some blog posts. So that is here. So we've been working here in pages, and posts are slightly different. So let's add some new blog posts. And let's give it a headline. Again, I'm just making this up. So that could be a good topic for a blog post. Possibly being able to answer some objections that people might have about hiring a coach. You can have that one. we're not going to use the Divi Builder here in the blog post. So you just paste it straight here into the native WordPress area. I'm going to give it a category. So that's, say, business coaching category. So you'll have different categories for what you're going to be writing blog posts about. And I just need to give it a featured image. So again, I've got one I prepared earlier, which is here. So let's say that one. Okay, so I haven't renamed that or anything. Just be aware that you should rename it. And I haven't resized it. Oh, I've done very bad. You can see here the size they are. So for a blog post, I'd make it 800 pixels wide. So this number should be 800, and then it's like 533 is normally what it proportionally resizes to. So again, I've been very naughty and I haven't done that. So if this was a live job for a client or for myself, I would not do that. I would go back using Photoshop or these online tools, resize that image to the correct proportions for what I need, which in this case is 800 by about 600, and upload it. Also rename it with a keyword and put the old text in. So just in case you think I'm not practicing what I preach, you'd be right, I'm not. Okay, so that is one post that's been created. So let's just have a look. All right, so there is the post in all its glory. Now here is one of the places where we have issues with the buttons. Now I found this to be an ongoing issue, and the only way I've been able to correct it is through CSS, but I'm not going to go through that for the purposes of this video. What I would say, and this again is a good thing about Divi, is that things are going to happen. Things aren't going to be exactly as you want, and you're not going to know how to fix them. So all you need to do is email them. Part of your license fee is that you get support. So if you have an instance like this where you're like, why is the text blue? I want it to be white. Instead of spending ages on Google and YouTube trying to work it out for yourself, just email them, ask them, and they will tell you what to do. And normally what they do is say, here's some code, here's where you paste it, and it's done. So that's my big advice with any little tweaks that aren't kind of easy for you to fix or obvious, is use what you're paying for with your license fee, which is having that extra support. Okay, so going back in, so that's one post created. So let's just go in here, and again, I'm going to trash this hello world. That's just the default from WordPress, so let's get rid of that. And I'm going to clone that, go into it, change the title of this one. So I don't know what, 5 ways to fix your mindset. That's pretty awful. That's a bad one. Make sure you update your URL as well, or your slug. You can do all that through Yoast, but this isn't a video about that. But if you've heard of the Yoast plugin, then that helps you with all these things, like making sure your URLs are what they should be. I'm going to give this a different category, maybe mindset work. And I'm going to change my featured image. Okay, see, that one's been resized correctly, so that's what you're looking for. I'm going to publish that. And just do it one more time. So we've got 3 example blog posts. So 3 is a nice number. I don't know. What could be one more post title? How to know if you're ready, sorry, I can't type, for a business coach. Again, change the URL. I think you should just get to copy paste it. Okay, and I'm going to make, yeah, that's business, that's fine. Let's just upload one more image. And we'll publish that. Right, so going back into the website, when we go to the blog page, because we told it to show all our blog posts, that's exactly what it's doing. So here on the left, it's showing showing like a snippet of them all, and then you click on this to go into the full post. Now here on the right hand side, we've got the sidebar. So if you want to update that, we do that in here. So it's appearance, widgets, and this is your sidebar widget, so that whatever you've got in here is going to be reflected in here. So we've got the search bar, recent posts, recent comments. So if you don't have any comments, you probably don't want that there. So we can just delete it, probably delete the archives, maybe leave the categories and delete that meta. And so now, when you look at the sidebar, okay, that's how it looks. And yeah, you can add all sorts of stuff into your sidebar. Again, out of the scope of what I'm doing now, but this is where you do it. Okay, and then lastly, let's do our contact page. So just edit the page. I'm going to keep this one pretty simple as well. So just use the Divi Builder. So again, Divi Builder on pages, but posts just use WordPress with WordPress window. And oopsie. Sorry, that's what my little girls say. Oh, it just came out. Oopsie. Right. So we're going to center that light, and this is going to be contact me. Make that heading 1. The on the other pages where you were using that full width header module, the heading in there should be coded to be heading 1. So that's why you're only seeing that here. And then let's just make that pink. Update. View page. Okay, and then I'm going to add in one more section. It's a regular section with this module, and we're going to be using a contact form. And that's just the default. So if you want to capture, which is this, make sure you put your email in here so that the people are using that contact form, the emails come through to you. And that's kind of it. And again, the button's a bit weird. So this will be fixed up by emailing support, because it's going to be across the entire site. And whatever else you would think you might want to put in your contact page, you could put in some social media share buttons maybe. So if we add an item, pick your network, say Facebook, and then maybe Twitter, and one more, let's say you're on Instagram. Okay, so that's that. You could change the shape. Okay. So something like that. So you've got your social share buttons that you could put in there for people as well. Okay, so let us just make sure that we've saved this. Now you've got your blog post done, I would maybe put them here on your homepage as well. So possibly down here, I'll show you how you can do that quite easily. All right, so I'm going to put it in between there and there. So again, it's just a section, and I've got a blog module. Okay, so in here what I want is them to be in a grid. I just want 3, so the 3 latest posts, include the categories we created. Yes, we want to show the featured image. Yes, we want the excerpt, which is like the beginning of it. And then you can choose, you know, what you're showing here and stuff like that. So if it's just you probably don't need to show the author because you know, it's pretty obvious it's you. If you've got a few people writing for your website, you might want to show who's, you know, which article belongs to who. And then this is another way for people to just go through to see what you've been writing about. And then to just separate this section out, I'm just going to give it a color in the background. And then if we add in another row, and call it blog posts, quite imaginatively, like that, heading 2. Okay, and move that so it's above them. That would make more sense. Okay, so let's just save and exit. And the last thing I'm going to look at here is the footer. Second last thing. One more thing we're going to do is use the Bloom plugin to add some opt-ins. So if we go here to add new, so Bloom comes bundled with your Divi license, so you don't have to pay extra for it. So there it is. So it's just a plugin I'm going to install. Is it installed? Okay. Okay, it's just having a little think. I think I just did that twice by accident. Okay, anyway, so it's in. Have a look. If we go into install plugins, there it is. So let's just activate it. I'm not going to update it, but you probably should. And here now we've got this menu here for Bloom. So let's create an opt-in form. Now to do that, actually, you need to first link your email account. So I am going to link to, let's have a look, MailChimp. And what it wants you to do is get your account name and API key. So let's have a look. I can do this. I've got a MailChimp account that I don't really use, apart from for this kind of stuff. So there it is. Let's just log in. Hopefully it will just do it. And then you just go here into account, integrations. No, very extras, API keys. Right, so I'm just going to grab an API key from here, or you can just create one. But whichever of your service providers you're using, it's all going to be different. So let's have a look if that's worked. So I'm going to authorize that. But Bloom's not going to work unless you set it up with some sort of email account. Right, so I'm going to create a new opt-in, and it's going to be for a widget, and I'm going to call it my footer opt-in. And I'm going to pick MailChimp, and because it's connected now, I'm going to pick that account, and the list is, I've got just a test one I use. So let's design it. If you've ever tried to make your email opt-in forms look nice by yourself, then you'll probably appreciate the simplicity of this. So basically just pick any of them, it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to, my heading is going to say, take the 7-day mindset challenge. And I'm not going to have a subheading. I don't want an image. The background color is going to be, and it's not grabbing it, that's quite annoying, but I want it to be that color. So again, my colors of the extension comes in handy here. It's not integrated completely well. So that's my background color. And you can preview what you're doing as you go along with this little thing. Let's just make it all PT Sans. Text color is, yeah, that's fine. And I want the border to be pink of my brand. I can get that from here. Or from, oh, here we go. There we go, got that. So paste that over here. I want the name field. And I'm going to have something a bit more interesting than subscribe. So we can try join my tribe, something like that. And I just want that to be straight. So how's that looking? I want my, okay, so that was the background of the top bit, top half of the form. I want the bottom half to have the same color. And I want my button to be that same color. And I think there's an option, is there? I'm going to have bottom border instead. Okay, so there I've created an opt-in form for Bloom. Happy with that, so I'm just going to save it. And it's active. So because of the type of form it is, I'm going to be able to just easily put it into my footer. So let's start building our footer. Now, the footer is made up of widgets, so it's similar to your sidebar. So it's in the same area. So we go here into widgets. And it's got 4 footer areas. Now you can change how many they are here in your theme customizer. So just while this is loading up, okay, so we've got footer, layout. So you've got all these choices of how you want it to be. So you can really play around with that. I'm just going to leave it as the default. You can add, you can control the widgets in here. So for example, I'm going to make the header that pink color. If it's still my clipboard. Yay! And I'm going to make my bullets pink as well. Because I don't really have anything in my footer at the moment, it's not really showing you. But if we go in here, so I am going to just add a text widget there into footer area 1. And I'm just going to say about me. And then you just grab some content from your about me page. It's pretty straightforward. It's already written, so you just need a sort of a condensed version for the footer. Footer area 2, I'm going to have some latest posts. So let's take that from here. Why did that not work? Let's try again. Recent posts, going to footer area 2. Okay. We'll call it recent posts, and just, well, we've only got 3 anyway, but if you, as you add more, we're going to add a little search bar to footer area 3. And I'm not going to give that a title. And here in footer area 4, I'm going to add that bloom. Oops, widget. So footer area 4, so I'm adding that into here. And then I can pick that opt-in that I just created, and I probably just wouldn't put a heading. So now put all those in. If we just go back to the website, scroll all the way down, and let's have a look. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Oh, I put that in twice. All right. So I've got the About Me one. Okay. So let's just delete that. That went in by accident. No worries. Easy to fix. Okay, so I've got the About Me. I've got recent posts, the search bar, take the 7-day mindset challenge. That's my opt-in. And that's it. Good to go. You can customize your footer elements in here as well. So you can turn those social icons on and off, as you can see in the bottom right corner. I haven't set any of that up at the moment. You can add your footer menu. So we haven't created one of those, but you know, there's plenty of stuff that's out of the scope of what I'm showing you at the moment. But at the very least, we have created a website that's got all the key pages that you need, and hopefully I've been able to show you. Let me just stop sharing my screen. Okay, so the idea here was to show you kind of Divi in action, to show you that it's really easy to kind of just put your site together. You don't need to know code. You know, the way that you can save stuff down and then copy it into different parts of the site, it just makes the process so fast and so, dare I say, enjoyable. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of highlight that, show you it in action, so that if you are on the fence about which theme you want to go for, maybe you will pick Divi. I'd recommend it anyway. I love it. Okay, that's it. Thanks. Hope you found something useful and learned something today.